Hello and welcome to my IBMIP video. In this video, I'll be describing my personal project and its unorthodox beginnings. So to begin with, let's talk about how my project has changed. And to say that it's changed is not really enough to represent actually what happened. Really, since the IBMIP project is for stuff you find passion for. I found my first choice I was not really passionate about, and although I was continuing to do something that I was passionate about, I never made the connection that really that should be my IBMIP project. So it wasn't really until today that I realized I had enough passion, I had enough experience, and I've grown enough, and I've spent enough time on what I'm going to do today for it to be my IBMIP project. So today I'm going to play for you a guitar solo, finger-picked, and for the past few months I've just been continuing to take lessons, continuing to practice at home, and although I wasn't necessarily passionate about guitar in the first place, I found a passion, which is why I think it took me a while to realize that this really should be what my project is about, because it's something you're passionate about. So today I'll be playing Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. I won't be singing it just because, I don't know, I don't really find my voice to be, a necessary part of this. And then afterwards I will explain some of my practice strategies and other things that relate to how I've developed and grown as a guitarist. And definitely this needs improvement, but as a little preface, working with this song through the MYP project will actually be beneficial to me because I play it for my recital later this year. Okay, I guess I'll just begin. was pretty much the entire piece. Although I kind of had to skip around just because it would be kind of long if I played the whole thing. But so throughout my practicing, I realized that the most important thing to me has been understanding, simply put, the vibe of the piece. There's no, I could put it in musical terms, but it's really just getting the feel. And although guitar is my newest instrument, it is not my first. I also play violin as well. And although guitar I am not nearly as good at as I am at my violin, because it has taught me how to learn music in a different way, it has greatly benefited me in terms of playing violin. And since I found a passion in guitar, I was able to really apply myself in my violin as well. And although this project comes at a little bit of a late date and it was kind of unexpected, because of the passion I've developed for guitar and the fact that I know that I'll continue to stick with this, I had to make it my project. And one thing I noticed while playing is that practicing as much as, if you continue to practice your heart out, that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get better or improve, but consistency is key. And if you continue to try, there's this classic saying, obviously everybody knows it, it's very cliche at this point, Rome wasn't built in a day. And I guess that applies very much to guitar. So when I play guitar, it's like, you might not be improving, but at least you're playing. At least you get to hear yourself play, which is definitely something. And maybe the next day you'll improve, which I guess kind of brings me into the question of what sort of struggles did I face while I was playing guitar, while I was first learning guitar. And my biggest struggle was honestly finding the motivation to play, which I know sounds like a bit of a personal problem, but again, this is a personal project. So in a sense, I struggled to find motivation to play because I wasn't seeing improvement, but really I just hadn't found that passion. And I think it's because often when we're learning a new skill or a new trade, we try to force ourselves to develop a passion. But in the same sense, it takes time to improve at a skill. It also takes time to be passionate about something. So that was definitely that was definitely impactful for me. And doing this project, although it was never intended to be an MYP personal project, although it definitely heavily lined up with the criteria, has really been something that's been influential for me, and as I mentioned before, even in my other fields as well. As I practiced my guitar, as I continued to attempt to improve my skills, I also developed another skill that falls under the ATL skill formula, and I was able to practice flexibility, realizing that complete practice every single day, or quite often, isn't going to be the reality 100% of the time. And I still got to make that do. I still got to improve. I still got to hold myself to accountability, and developing better practice skills for the times where I can practice really helped me. But that's not the only skill. I think one of the most important skills is that I developed the ability to hypothesize, really to make an educated guess. For example, if I'm struggling with the chord change on my guitar, I might just change one thing. I might change how my fingers are postured, how my wrist is postured, how far up my wrist is, whether or not my fingers are straight when I place them down or if they're curved. A wide variety of things, because I might not know the root cause of why this chord is sounding wrong. Maybe it's because I'm putting my fingers in the wrong position and I just need to check the tab. it's because my bar chord finger is too far back. Whatever it may be, changing something is the best way to find out, making an educated guess at least. And if it doesn't fix the problem that you need to be fixed, maybe it fixes something else. And the other thing I thought about when I was playing guitar and trying to apply this to an MIP formula is how have I shared my development with people? Well, I didn't mention it before, but part of the reason why I've been so busy is because I work now. I work at a retirement home, meaning I can hear a lot of people's stories. And one particular retiree, her name is Rose. She and I have really bonded over music, over art, and I've told her about my experiences playing guitar, and she has been great. She's a good listener. She's quite a good talker, and she was really beneficial for me when I didn't even know this was going to be my MIP project. I was able to outreach to her, and she's not the only resident I've told about my musical interests. So that's something that I found would definitely be applicable in this circumstance. And although she might be incredibly old, I think music and art in general should be applied to people of all generations and of all ideologies. But